All right, it's another edition tonight, Monday night with Monique, of course. It's been a great one. Like, we've been having great episodes so far. I hope you checked out the last episode we had, and I hope you commented. Well, if you haven't subscribed, kindly subscribe. I would really, really appreciate it. Well, tonight on the show, we will be talking about the Gen Z mothers, if we would say it so, as well as the children who are now forcefully becoming adults by the day. Where have we gotten it wrong? Well, we'll be talking to two interesting guests on the show tonight, so we get to dissect this entire thing of the social media children and parents as well. Let's get to find out where we got it wrong, as well as preferring solutions to these things. All right, so like I said, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Don't forget, we are on Facebook right now. You can as well just join us on Facebook and check out our videos on YouTube. Turn on your post notification, kindly like, comment, share. Very important that you do so how about we go meet our guests? Monday Night with Monique. All right, let's meet our guest for tonight's show. Welcome to the show. How you doing?
I'm doing well.
Please introduce yourself.
My name is Sylvester Okoyoma. I'm an author and a public speaker.
Okay, so
I'm Elizabeth. Here I am.
Okay, so Elizabeth happens to be a school administrator. You know, she deals with children a lot as well. So we're going to be hearing a lot about her. Okay, now talking about the millennium children right now, the 21st century children that we have and what we see, disturbing things on the internet. Social media had now made it easy. It's now, easy for everybody to access anything and everything happening in your homes. People live their lives on social media, to the point that parents give their children phones and even access to social media. And in my head, I'm asking myself a question: where have we gotten it wrong? I mean, you are a mother, you focus on children a lot in schools. Can you please share with us this disturbing things you find? Where have we actually gotten it wrong? Because of recent, we've had too many cases of children doing a lot of terrible things on social media, and their parents are the one giving them access to do these things. It's just like the parties you take your children to, the kind of language they speak, the way they dress, the movies they watch. These things get to stick in their brain and they reflect these things. But who gives us access? The parents are the ones who give them access. So where have we gotten it wrong? Elizabeth, what do you have to say?
Okay. There's the Bible says there's a way that seemeth right unto a man, but the end is destruction. Now many of our kids, children are great copycats. What my mom is doing, what my dad is doing, I want to do it too. Now the aspect of social media, which has caused a lot of damage in this present generation, I don't see a situation where I don't see reason why a child should have access. A 4-year-old, 5-year-old, 6-year-old, even 12. What's your business with the phone? That habitual thing for reading isn't there anymore. So you see many of the kids, mom, give me your phone. I want to check something
anymore,
more. Like
yeah.
they don't want to read. That habit of reading isn't there anymore. And there's one thing about social media. The moment a child is checking something from the net, maybe to get an information, something pops up. Another thing pops up. And before you know it, they click on it. And before you know it, they start looking, watching. And there's something about visuals. When something gets stuck to the brain, once a child sees it, it's there. And before you know it, they start experimenting. Before you know it, they become what you don't expect them to be. So everything boils down to the parents' control. Parents ought to be in control. You should be able to monitor your kids. You can't monitor your children 24 hours. But the one when you are with them, you should be able to monitor. They should know you are in control. In as much as you are trying to imbibe discipline in them, you also be friendly with them. Okay? And another thing again is communication. Many parents do not communicate with their children. A child should know their limits. A child should know, if daddy comes, or mom should come and find out these things. We have to tidy it up. They know their limits. They know that boundaries. You understand?
But
Today,
let me interrupt you. But in a case whereby a parent is not disciplined enough, so first I'll come to you. In a case whereby a parent is not disciplined, let's come to you right now. Enough. It's like this generation, we have children taking care of children.
yes,
A situation where someone just gets pregnant overnight, and or someone just gets married, because these days people just jump into marriages, and then you see a child, someone who's not even mature enough for marriage, is already pregnant for a child, and then the hair you are fixing on. I saw a video on social media where they were fixing the child's lace wig. A very little child, just going to be 1 year old. They're fixing a lace wig for the child, and the child was crying so bad. The other one was another video where they tinted the 1 year old's hair gold, and this child was screaming at the top of her voice, like, you would know the child is in pain.
yes.
But our mothers right now, the millennial mothers right now, like, no,
To look beautiful, has to
why-
measure
You have
up,
to be
look-
woke.
Yeah.
Sylvester.
As she was speaking, I thought about it. I felt you just took that right out of my mouth. I felt like I shouldn't say it because I don't want, this issue of trying to be politically correct. But you just said it, so I can as well just say children taking care of children.
Yes.
Those were the very words that I was just thinking about as she was speaking. From my science background, we talk about solving problems from first principles.
Okay.
If those of us who have science background, from first principles, we mean who are the parents that gave birth to these children? What are the values that they have imbibed in themselves? Because the principle, you can't give what you don't have.
Yeah.
So some of these Gen Z children are suffering the problems of their, permit me to say, Gen Y parents.
Okay.
Do you get? Because some of these kids are basically, they haven't even, some of these parents, I mean to say,
Yes.
haven't even been fully mentored and
Before they eventually
groomed
turn
themselves.
Yeah.
And so you now find yourself having kids of your own.
Okay.
So there's a problem.
Yes.
It's like the blind
Yes.
leading the blind. So the problems that the family unit is the microcosm of society,
Yes.
as it were. So the problem comes from who are the people leading these children? What values are they selling to these children? What boundaries are they setting? So it comes from first tackling the root, the parents. The kinds of parents we have now. I do not know where we missed it. Sometimes when we discuss, it makes us feel very old. We're like,
Right.
this is not how we were taught.
up,
When
yes.
you make that statement, this is not how we were taught. People are like, how old are you?
What's up? You're not measuring
But the
up.
truth is that this is not how we were taught. You did not come home dressed in a certain way. You couldn't leave your house
No, there's
dressed
no
in a certain way.
Yes.
But today we see
Presently.
social media. I don't know where is the advent of this gadget, or the problem came long before the gadget. But today what we see on social media is crazy. It's crazy. We
Yes.
see kids that have gone haywire, kids that have gone berserk.
Yes.
I don't know how to describe it, but I think we'll tackle it from tackling these parents.
Okay.
Where did they come from? Do they understand what parenting is all about?
Okay, now another thing, again, talking about parenting, that's on one level. In a situation whereby they say you mirror your parents, you see some of these parents, they kiss in front of the children, they do things in front of the children. For some people, they say, oh, it's a good thing, so that the children can feel that
Like
homely
that
thing between
homely
mommy and
thing,
daddy.
daddy.
But is it okay to do this kind of things in front of
Presently.
children? Because these days, when you see daddy and mommy kissing, they say, oh, it's okay. But you see that the child wants to practicalize it with maybe their schoolmates.
classmates.
For them, because the child is so young, it's like an innocent thing after
Yes.
daddy and mommy is doing it. So they go to school and they do this thing. So is it now a problem? Because you're trying to show love to.
Yes. Well,
So
that's
how do we go about this?
Well, like we said, we call it Gen Z generation. So many things have changed, and I believe we have to try and change or filter the bad ones and take the good ones. Now, the aspect of maybe kids watching their parents kiss each other, or I believe the parents, if they have to do anything that has to do with intimacy and all, maybe kissing the mouth, that should be done in the room. But maybe the dad can kiss.
You just come back from work, you
Yes,
peck on
more
the
like
lips
good.
now.
Maybe that kind of thing. Because of the way the world is presently, you can kiss your wife. You can talk with your husband, kiss your wife on the cheek. Just because of the way things are, then when you're in the room together, you can become intimate. Or when they are not there, you can be cozy with each other. I believe that will help control so many of these things.
Because it's obvious that what is happening right now is as a result of what these children see parents
visuals,
do, as well as what they see on TV.
Yes.
Now, talking about social media, when is the right time to give a child a phone? Maybe because right now, parents, millennium parents, Gen Z parents right now, we the phones we didn't have when we were still very young, you know, the child already has it, and they use like they surprise the child with a phone, an iPhone, and they're excited. Like maybe a 10-year-old, they say, "Oh, I have an iPhone," and all that. So this time you are giving them access, not just the phone, but you're giving them access to the internet. It wasn't like that before. We weren't having all these issues until the this whole social media thing came up, social media world came up. So where did we get it wrong? When is the right time to give a child a phone? Do we say, okay, just give a child a normal phone that doesn't have internet? What do we do about that? Seriously.
Yeah, I think it's a question of access. I have a 6-month-old myself now, and he's beginning to get used to watching stuff from either the phone, television, or even my laptop. And so lately, I found out that one of the ways I can engage him is to download this children's song with Abby, something like that, from the school rhymes, and I discovered that it keeps him occupied. So I'm already beginning to think, should I get a tab for him? Since I cannot give him my laptop to use, and I don't want to start making him touch my phone. So I think getting gadgets for these kids may not be the problem. Is what access do you give them? For instance, you mentioned the internet access. Gadgets can be useful. This is the 21st century, for crying out loud. Some of these things are absolute necessities. They have to learn using tabs. Some of these schools are already teaching them how to use gadgets. We're already advocating that learning should be beyond paper, notebook. So I'm trying to say that you can't take away gadgets from these kids. Let's face it, you can't take away gadgets. But I think where parents can start coming in, it's what access do you give them? How do you do this parental guidance thing? Even on TV, there's the parental guidance on your decoder and all that. I think the thing is restricting. I know a man who said there was no TV in his house till his kids became adults, like full adults. And today his kids are doing fine. So I think it's access. Don't say you shouldn't have TV in your home. Have TV, but they don't have access to it until boundaries. Set boundaries. Don't take away these gadgets. They need these gadgets. These gadgets will ease even you. It will. Let's face it. Technology is helping us. If you give your child something to play with in terms of technology, good programs, songs, and all that, it keeps them educated.
Yeah, because right now parents have become so busy with work, like we're always on our phones 24/7.
Yes.
We don't have that time to say, okay, we want to spend time with children or anything. We come back from work, we're on our phones, daytime, we're on our phones. Now the children is like they're not getting used to it, so you get them their own phones too.
Exactly.
You get. So how can we avoid this thing? Because in the process of saying we don't want the children to disturb us, want to focus, we give them everything they need, give them access to the internet, and that's how they start saying things they're not supposed to see. To the point that we don't even monitor what they watch. So what is the way forward to parents right now who, do these things, not just social media? We take our children to parties. I saw a video of a woman that said that she took her children to a party. Her sister took her children to a party, and children came back home on time, saying that, "Mommy, we didn't like the party." And she was like, "What happened?" They said the children were dancing ways they didn't understand. So why are women or why are mothers or fathers not focusing? Is it that, because in my head, is it that there's this brokenness in the family unit? Because I believe that a family that's together will definitely put things together. Most of the things happen in society as a result of the family unit being broken. Most of the robbers you see on the streets are prostitutes and all that. If you ask about their family background, it's not together. Okay, so what do we do now? It's all messed up. What do we do? Because we need to prefer solutions to these things. We're tired of seeing these things. People come out to say, "Oh, what you did to your child is not good. Look how you're wearing your child. It's not good." But everybody wants their child to stop. So we're forcefully allowing the child to grow, forcing kids to grow. Lizzie, come on.
Okay, everyone is just in search of money presently. I need to make money. I need to try and meet up with
goals,
Family's
demands,
needs,
and all.
family needs.
It's
and
all about the
that.
money right
Now
now.
it's all about money, and that is really creating a hole in families. Many parents do not communicate with their kids. They don't even tend to know even your child's favorite color. Presently, I know. Many parents do not even know the
They will be
child's
like,
favorite.
"What is my
What
business?
is
My
my
child's
business?
color."
Because more like it's just money. Money.
As
Let
long as
me
I'm
make
bringing the
money.
money.
And they leave everything to the teacher. That the teacher should be the one to take care of everything. Leave everything.
But talking about the teachers right now, these are the
Yes.
people that we're not even facing issues with, because the teachers are not mentally stable to take care of that child.
Okay.
And you find out that most of these teachers end up putting wrong information in the minds of these children.
Okay.
We've
Some.
seen cases, yes, some of them,
Some
of them, not
yes,
all,
some.
of the teachers, but most of the teachers we have right now in schools, most of the guardians we have in schools are not doing a great job.
And many persons are not. Why? Because of the way the economy is, there are so many people that are not into the teaching line because of passion. They're into the teaching line because of, I need to make ends meet. I need to,
Sure.
I need to provide for my family. So they don't have passion for teaching, to imbibe knowledge in these kids. It's not all about maths, English, social studies, and all that. It's not all about that. There's some kind of morals you have to imbibe in kids. Do you know practically teachers spend more time with the children compared to the parents?
Yeah, they spend more time in school.
Yes,
Yeah.
more like. And another thing again, these are the same parents. We hear issues, we get examples. You see the mother or the father coming to school that the child is not doing well. You give a child homework. You ought to control that child, and you ask the child, have you done your homework? And the child will say, no, mommy, come and help me. I don't have time. I need to go and do this and all. Then the child starts wondering. Then the child goes back to school and the teacher starts shouting at the child, you didn't do your homework and all. There's some kids that will become withdrawn. They can't explain. They can't explain to the teacher that, okay, my mom. Then the ones that they can voice out. There was one I said, mommy, you said you were busy. That's the reason why she said it in front. And the mom was quiet. But how many kids? How many of them? There's no communication between parents and children because they're in search of money. There's no control. You just give a child a gadget. There's no control. Even most movies tell you parental guardian.
Yeah.
Many parents don't look at that. They don't.
We just put the children on the TV.
And even some cartoons. You have to watch that cartoon first before you say.
Most of these cartoons right now, they're talking about gay, lesbians.
Yes.
Some of the languages that I've encountered,
yes.
but we just allow them as long as it's
yes.
cartoon.
That most times like this, I prefer most if I don't want my kids to watch television, I try to get a cartoon I know that I have to see. That I know I can pay time to. Yes, I'll look at that cartoon. Okay, this cartoon is okay for the kids. Then they can watch. But presently, there's no. Just go and watch. The mom or the dad, they don't
on their
just
phones.
on their own. They're busy with your phone. Then when things start happening, you start blaming the devil. It's not the devil. It's from the womb.
Check the person in front of the mirror.
I think we need to. I think we also need to engage these. What do I call them? Content providers.
Okay.
I don't know if there are advocacy groups. I don't know what to call them. I don't know if there are groups engaging with them. You need to start looking at what you are churning out for kids.
Okay.
I know it's the woke generation.
Yeah.
We want to update our content to be more 21st century compliant. I mean, I grew up with Sesame Street.
Yeah.
Hey, nobody fought Sesame Street.
Yeah.
It was awesome,
Yes.
clean content. And
Yeah.
I'm not saying there are not other ones today, but I think these people that bring this content, there should be a body or bodies engaging them,
Okay.
controlling them, regulating them, checking what are these things you are putting in. You need to start working on that. Then on the family side, I think we should have a more holistic talk about family planning. Family planning is not about just giving birth to children and having the number of children you want to give birth to. You should also be thinking about what are the things I want to inculcate. And it should be a parental thing.
But when a parent does not have those things, the background was not there.
Okay.
I mean, how is the parent going to help?
Very true.
But there are some parents again who knows that their background wasn't good enough, but because of experience and right knowledge, they choose a right path.
Yes.
You get me? So I mean, it's all crazy. Seriously.
There is always that part of personal development. But first, you must realize that you have a problem.
Yes.
Most of these parents we're talking about, I'm sure many of them will be watching. I think our goal is first to make them understand that there's a problem. If these Gen Z parents don't know that Gen Y parents don't know that there is a problem, they will not go for the solution.
Yes.
So I think the first thing first, they should know that we need to develop ourselves first.
Okay.
We need to develop ourselves so that we have something to give to our children.
Okay.
And we should stop telling them, giving them stuff in the name of being woke, whatever that means.
Or trying to, because you're trying to please your friends and trying to make sure
that
that
aspect of competition.
Competition. That's what's
That's
causing
another
these
That's
problems.
another thing. That's another major problem in the society. You see, my friend just got this. Oh, my child has to measure up.
Yeah.
You start dressing your child seductively. At the end of it, what kind of message are you passing? So they keep because more like a child. It's just okay. Like my little boy, he believes in. I taught him this thing that cover your pee. You go outside, don't allow anybody see your pee. So he now knows that okay, I have to wear something when I'm going out.
Sacred.
Yes, it's a sacred thing.
Sacred area.
Yes,
Sacred area.
more like cover it. It's more like when, sometimes when I sit, it look as if maybe my trousers tend to come down, a bit of my bum tend to. His mommy, drag your trousers. Your bum is showing. Now you started imbibing such things to a child. It all starts from when they are little. Now for parents, these present parents, what they don't have, they can't give. And it's a problem. It's a big problem. And when a person now doesn't admit that he or she has a problem, now it becomes a major challenge. Who is going to come up with the solution?
Because some of them, with the way they grew up, they feel it's a normal thing.
More like it's a normal thing.
Normal. It's okay.
Now, yes, I believe this is where the government comes in. The government has a role to play in the aspect of indecent dressing. I believe I know I grew up during the time of the military rule. You don't dress anyhow.
There's sometimes that you go to ring road and they're stripping naked if you're wearing short skirts or something.
You don't try. You be embarrassed.
Nice,
you be embarrassed. It all starts from there. But now it's a normal trend.
Normal. Yeah.
It's
Social
normal.
media.
You pass this person, and there's one other thing. Every opportunity given, when you are given an opportunity to correct a child, please correct that child. It's just like when kids are growing up and they're trying to put one or two words together. Now that moment, maybe the child speaks wrongly. Is normal. Don't worry. You had the opportunity of correcting that child.
There and then.
Now small pikin leave
and then now small pikin leave am. Now small pikin leave am. That is how the child is spoiled. They go. That is just it. That is where you see a child mentioning something they ought not to say. For you to correct that child,
leave am.
You leave that. That's where the society is the way it is presently. So I believe the government still has a role to play. I believe regulatory bodies, you tell, do not dress like this when coming out, because when girls dress decently, the level of rape, the level of this violent thing going on, I believe it's regulated. When the government comes, I believe they have a role to play. Such things are meant to be worn at home. Those seductive things for your husband. For your husband alone.
And then parents need to watch out with the way they dress their children.
Yes, you force your child out of her princess. Let me call it princesshood. The child up to wear this princess dress.
Well, you make her feel like she's a big girl.
You force her out of her childhood into adulthood. You see that she can't, and when she gets to that stage, you start. A child is not supposed to make decisions for herself at that time, but she starts telling mommy, I want to wear this. This is what I like. I want to wear this. Even what the mom wears too is points. How do I put it now? Is also a cause
children will not
of this
do
thing,
what
because
you
like
say.
what
They
they are
will do what they say
copycats.
you do.
They are copycats. That's just it. They're copycats.
All right, thank you. It's been an interesting one so far. We need to wrap things up, and I'll just conclude by saying that I think we need to start coming up with parenting seminar, because we keep coming up with how to make money, how to make this money, how to make the next million. Nobody's talking about how to parent a child. Seminars, talking about how to parent a child. I think we need to come up with most of this. These things needs to come back.
Yeah.
We used to have them, but they need to come back, and people need to pay, because some people will say, "You don't go tell me how to train my pikin." And now waiting those what is when we're growing up, it was everybody together.
Yes, take
If
care
you
of the
see,
child.
if you see your neighbor's child misbehaving outside, you first scold the child, and then you go and report
Report
to the mother.
mom.
Yeah.
Yes.
But right now, to your turn to if you don't touch
There's
my
that
child,
disconnect.
you
Yes,
get
there's
this
that disconnect.
exactly.
Yes.
You know, so
It's
I
not-
think we all need to revisit. The parents, we have a lot of work to do. In fact, children have gone haywire because of us. And I think this is where we need to go back to parenting style. Where have we gotten it wrong? Let's talk to self. You know, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you for coming, Sylvester and Elizabeth. Thank you for coming. And yes, remember, please subscribe if you haven't. Remember, we're now on Facebook. You can as well watch the video on Facebook, as well as turn on your post notification on YouTube. Kindly comment whenever you watch an episode. Please, I would like to know your thoughts. Comment, kindly share and like. You know, a very big thank you to our partners, Edisi Telecoms. Thank you to Squarehead One Gallery. Thank you to the man behind the camera, the great man behind the camera, Zotu Inc. Thank you so much to you guys who keep watching. We appreciate you a whole lot. Follow my social media handle at moniquedvibe. Take care of you. Monday Night with Monique.